What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Like always, like and subscribe and leave a comment down below and hit that notification bell. Today I want to rank my March reads, my March wrap up. It's March 31st, 2026. I finished 15 books this month. I had a great time with them all. Well, two of them. The bottom two were absolute garbage, but then the rest I thoroughly enjoyed. So I had to give them an order. There were five that stood out from the rest. We'll say seven. These top seven really were something. So right away, let's go over our bottom of the pack is Infiltrator, actually, because Infiltrator sucks so bad I didn't even do a review on the channel for it. Yeah, looking at, I think maybe I did and there wasn't any audio, but it's probably there was a good thing that it wasn't. Like, this book sucked so bad, the minute I finished it, I already couldn't remember what I read. Like, that's how bad it was. This was not a good Star Trek book, and I'm a huge Star Trek fan, especially with the novels. And the next was Exiles. Just didn't enjoy it. It wasn't good, which is crazy to me because Howard Weinstein writes some pretty good stuff that I've read, but this one just wasn't it. So those two I didn't like, you know what I mean? They didn't mess with me. I didn't enjoy them. They weren't a good time. Okay, so then also bottom of the pack, this one I didn't like that much either because the first 200 pages are just nothing. But then the last 74 pages, Peter David just steps it up and it's awesome. It's a great original series novel. So, you know, Star Trek, there's a lot of Star Trek this month. I went nuts. The first 2 weeks of the month, I think I read just Star Trek before I started deciding, you know, maybe I should change it up a little. And so now I'm going to keep changing it up. Okay, so then we get to everything that I really did like a lot this month. We have Don't Go to Wheelchair Camp by David Irons. This is an indie published book. It was 80s slasher horror cheeseball funness. It was great. I loved it, and I can't wait to read more by the author. I do have one that I inserted into my summer TBR. It's called something about a wolf moon or something. It's pretty short, you know, it's like a 30-minute read, but I will drop the review on the channel when I get around to reading it. But yeah, Don't Go to Wheelchair Camp is a great book. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Star Trek: The Next Generation Power Hungry. This one, I do not remember it. I just remember I really liked it. Oh, yeah, okay. They're tasked with, basically, this government, their world is falling apart, and part of the government's like rich fascist government that wants all these supplies the Enterprise is delivering, but the ones that really need it, the desert dwellers, the religious faction, you know, there's all this conflict of interest in. And if I remember right, this one ends with no Picard and Enterprise and crew do not, basically they can't mend the planet's ways. They leave and the two factions are still at war with each other. There was no ending. It wasn't, you know, it wasn't a happy ending at all. So the Romulan Stratagem, this one was great. Picard and his rival Commander Scylla, you know, Tasha Yar's daughter from another alternate timeline or whatever it is, universe or whatever. Super awesome. You get some Ro in this one too. I really like this one. This was a good, fun read. I had a great time with it. And all these Star Trek books on this video, all but one I have reviews for on the channel, and they were all the first 2 weeks of March. I will say also, Don't Go to Wheelchair Camp. The review will be out a day after this video comes out. So just so you know, and the Cardinal of the Kremlin will be a week or so after this video comes out. Just so you're aware that my timing is a little bit off because I'm reading faster than I can make the videos. Next up is Tom Clancy, Red Rabbit. This book was really good. Very slow burn, very ominous. I had a good time with it though. Tom Clancy's a master at his craft. So it was good. It was definitely a good book. Basically, Ryan's tasked with, you know, helping a Russian spy defect, and of course with Tom Clancy there's 100 other things going on at the same time. If you watch when you get to my Cardinal of the Kremlin review, the best metaphor I can talk about is the ripples of a bunch of pebbles landing in a pond with Tom Clancy's work. The Hunt for Red October, it's as good as you would expect it to be. It's one of his renowned works. Of course, I didn't like it as much as I liked the other two on my list, but it was good. It was definitely a good time, but I was glad when it was done. And I don't recommend the movie. I'm sorry for the fans, but I will buy it on Blu-ray. I plan on getting all the Tom. Even we saw there's one with, I want to say, Danny Glover in the 90s that I've never seen. I want to get that. And then next up, once I got through the 2 weeks of Star Trek, I started doing Clancy, and then when we get to the book on my list, I'll explain why I ended up moving back into horror, and I'm so glad I'm back into horror. And the first horror book I read back was Dean Koontz, The Voice of the Night. A slow burn, cringing when one of the antagonists, when he's in character, oh my gosh, it's cringe what he talks about. It's disgusting. It's not graphic, or the novel's not like graphic or gore. Like, Dean Koontz shows why he is a master writer, because he writes a compelling book, and it doesn't need, gluttonous amounts of gore and rape and killing just for killing's sake. That's why Dean Koontz is the best, you know what I mean? And you can't deny it. Yeah, sure, his later works have fallen off from what they used to be in the 80s and 90s and early 2000s, but he's still good. Okay, next up is the book I literally just finished today, March 31st, 2026. Literally shot the review before this video. I loved it. The Cardinal of the Kremlin. Top three favorite of mine so far out of the 6 I've read for Tom Clancy. This was a hefty monster book. So much going on. Tons of characters. The character development in this book is bar none. I haven't read any characters develop as good as some of the characters in this book do, especially the Cardinal himself. It is amazing. It is. If you don't read any other Tom Clancy book in your life, pick this one up and read it. Let's just put it that way. All right, next up is Brian Lee Durfee's The Forgetting Moon. This monstrosity was amazing. It was epic, and it says on the top, this is an epic fantasy. And it was only my second fantasy book I've ever read in my life, and it was so awesome. Well, that's not true, because I read a couple when I was younger, but I don't remember them at all. So we'll just call this the second fantasy I've ever read in my life. I loved it. The brutality in the kill scenes in this book is what made me realize I could definitely read horror again. You know what I mean? I definitely realized I'm fine with horror. I wanted it back in my life. I felt empty without it. But The Forgetting Moon is the beginning of a trilogy. It is epic in every sense of the word, and I already have book 2 waiting for me this summer. It will be a summertime read. You know what I mean? It is even longer. It's insane. The size of these books, like, it's hard. I like to read at work on my lunch break, but I don't even have nowhere to put those books in the work truck. So that's what's crazy. Okay, so moving on to the rest of my top 4. Tom Clancy's Red Winter by Mark Cameron, not Tom Clancy himself, but man, this book was good. It was, Without Remorse is probably my favorite one so far, but this one's pretty darn close to it. And I know it's not Tom Clancy that wrote it, but he had proteges, and Mark Cameron does a great job with this book. So this fits in between. It's after Red Rabbit. No, yeah, it's after Red Rabbit, before The Hunt for Red October, I think. I can't remember now. It might be after the Red October. I don't remember. But it is good, and this one is a lot more brutal with the killing and the torturing than any of the other ones I've read so far, besides Without Remorse. Without Remorse is insane. Like, and that was Tom Clancy. So yeah, Without Remorse is still my number 1, but this is easily my number 2 favorite Clancy book in the Jack Ryan universe. Not authored by Clancy, but in the Jack Ryan universe. Highly recommended. Okay, next up, number 3, Star Trek: The Next Generation Q&Law. This book was hilarious. I've never laughed so much reading a book than when I did this one. What Lwaxana Troi does to Q towards the end of the book is some of the funniest crap I've ever read in my life. Peter David is a master when it comes to Star Trek novels, and I love this one. It was awesome. It would have been number 2, but the next book took it over when I read it. And this one was referred to me by one of our subscribers. I've mentioned him in the other videos. You could go check out his sports openings. That's the first book of the Sigma Force, James Rowland's Sandstorm. It was good. I loved it. It's like a techno thriller sci-fi thingy-mabob, but man, it was good. It was like Indiana Jones story, but like better. It was really cool. And I already have the second one. I put it up in a poll a couple of times, but y'all been not wanting to vote for it yet. But so I may just end up reading it beside one of the books I'll vote for on the poll. But yeah, this one's definitely coming up in the next couple of weeks. I definitely want to get to it. It's one I want to get to at least one a month. At least one. Every now and then I might throw in 2 a month. There's 18 in the series, and I don't know if he's going to continue it on or if that's it. Okay, so my number one book this month, and where we're in the video, is Star Trek The Next Generation Vendetta. This is something I could read again, and I probably will someday in the future. This book was so good. The story in it was so amazing, and you could go look at my review. I don't want to give away too much in this ranking video. Go look at my review. I swooned on this book pretty hardcore because I like to shoot my reviews as soon as I finish the books, you know, so that everything's still fresh. So this was already a couple of weeks ago after I read this one, but holy moly, I had a great time. This was the book that got me amped up for reading even more than I was at the time. So yeah, Peter David is great in the Star Trek universe, and I'm excited to read more of his books when I get to them. But that's the ranking video today, guys. 15 books for March, and some of them are quite humongous, as you saw. But I had a good time. Let's see what April brings. A lot of the books in April are smaller, so I should be reading quite a bit. We'll see what happens. I got to, you see the stack, those books right here, and right here, and then right here, and then a couple right here. Ignore Dead of Honor. That's all on my TBR till summer. Will I accomplish it? I don't think so, but I'm freaking gonna try, because I ain't got nothing else going on in life right now besides getting ready to move to our new house. And that's less complicated than you think, since we're moving our new house 10 feet away from our old house. It's just much more space we got to deal with, and since all of our stuff is small, it shouldn't be so bad. But getting the room set up with all the bookshelves and movie shelves is going to be great. Yeah, we do have a lot of stuff. Small stuff. Mostly books. DVDs. And DVDs. Yeah, we got a lot of DVDs. I can't wait to show that off one day in a video, because I am real amped up for physical media later.